The two giant teachers' unions in the country have differed over the fate of a nationwide strike that was set to start at midnight.
That's right. Now, the Kenya Union of Post-Primary Teachers, KNUT, has instructed its members to honor the strike and not to report to work, while the Kenya National Union of Teachers, KNUT, has withdrawn its strike notice and asked its teachers to report for work on the first day of third term on Monday, the 26th of August.
The ministry, on the other hand, maintains that learning will commence as scheduled tomorrow. Brenda Wanga has those details.
With the clock ticking towards midnight, the deadline for the strike notices issued by both KNUT and KNUT, the two unions, once united in their grievances to the employers, are now singing different tunes. Both KNUT and KNUT say the employer, TSC, engaged them to try and resolve their demands, but the outcomes of those engagements have either been successful or futile, depending on the union.
Now, we had an agreement because Teacher Service Commission decided to talk to us. We agreed after discussions, and the agreement was as follows. The second phase of the salary award for teachers was given and factored in their salaries in arrears for the month of August.
On the matters thereof, which included taking note that Teacher Service Commission, having been seized with the demands that the union presented, only addressed one aspect which had been presented as an item and left the entire 9 other issues not addressed. This council decided to vote that the strike continues.
Those outcomes have informed the stand taken by each of the unions
that the notice, which was to elapse by midnight today, has been hereby withdrawn by the National Executive Council.
This council decided to vote that the strike continues.
The decision means that learning in primary schools will proceed, while secondary schools, where a majority of members are drawn from KNUT, is likely to be paralyzed. Both KNUT and KNUT had threatened to go on strike over the non-commencement of the second phase of the CBA, demand for better working conditions, promotions, and the harmonization of allowances, as well as the non-remittance of statutory deductions. The employment of JS intern teachers on permanent and pensionable terms was also one of the key grievances both unions wanted addressed. While both unions disagree on their dealings with the TSC, they agree on the question of funding for teachers' affairs, and they want the government to speak in one voice when money matters are concerned.
We took also note at the reckless manner in which government has handled this matter, including the Cabinet Secretary for Finance having said that the recruitment of 46,000 junior secondary school teachers was just mentioned by the Education Committee of Parliament, and it was not factored in.
Which is the right position now? Which is the right position that we can take as a union? And that is why we are sounding a warning. If we want to run this country peacefully, elected officials and also members of parliament leading committees, the public has entrusted you to give the proper information.
The Ministry of Education, on the other hand, hailed KNUT for calling off their strike and pledged to work towards resolving the pending teachers' issues. Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV.
Yes, sir. Solidarity.